Yo, what's going on, guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Stories 2. Back with another discussion with the squad. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hello.
I'm back.
Howdy doody.
And today we're talking about endgame. We're talking about the stuff you can do once you complete the story. Now, just before we go any further, I'm going to say we're still not going to speak about the story in this, so there will be no story spoilers. I'm not going to touch on that at all. However, it is fair to say we are talking about the stuff you do once you have completed the game, so in that respect, there are some spoilers, but we're still going to kind of just keep it more sort of general. The idea behind this is for those of you wanting to know, what do you do in this game? Because if you've never played stories before, then you might be like, well, is it just an RPG? You finish the story, you put it down. No, this game has so much stuff to do. Like, it is actually surprising just how much stuff there is to do. So we want to kind of give you some context as to what you have to look forward to later on in the game. So if you don't want to know about that, now would be the time to step away. So if you're here in the next 10 seconds, that is on you. So, endgame. Guys, what's up?
There's a lot to talk about, actually. There's a lot of endgame. There's a lot more than we thought there would even be. To be honest, I was kind of under the impression it would be like, you finish the story and then it's just grind out a team for PvP, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case. There's a whole load more stuff. Where do we even start? What topic do we start with?
Let's just start very, very basic level, right? On some of the kind of like initial stuff you get. The reason I want to start there is because Paradise and 2.6 kind of completed the game before me, so they're a little bit further ahead in the end game. So I'm kind of experiencing the early part of the end game, and these guys are like much further. So we're in kind of different positions. So some of the first stuff you'll do, literally as soon as you finish the game, and I think this is really, really cool, right? It makes great use of, often you find in these kind of games, you go to like low-level areas, once you kind of progress past them, they become very useless towards endgame, and the endgame system kind of just breathes life back into the whole game world. So on a basic level, finish the game, you get to go back around the world, anywhere, and you'll see new dens. You'll know that when you're playing through the game, you have regular dens, and you have rare dens, the gold ones. Then once you get further, you have the high rank dens. So you'll encounter high rank monsters, which are of course, they've got red names, they hit harder, that's how you get high rank armor. Plus you get high rank dens, so you can go in there, and you can then kind of go through as a means to get better monsters, better genes. Keep in mind, you're still leveling them up. It doesn't make your previous monsters useless. It's just a kind of a chance to get better things. So already, you go back as far as the first island, and there's already rare dens, high rank dens there. So that breathes life back into it. And then obviously you've also got what they call like the Elder's Lair. Elder's Lair, that's it. Which is basically like a floor system where you work through various different missions, various different challenges, fighting strong monsters, ascending this lair, this tower. So yeah, should we just like, where do you guys want to touch on? Like 2.6, how about what about the high rank dens? How's this for you?
So, not only is there high-rank dens that spawn in the world after you complete the game, like if you go back to Hakola Island, for instance, there's like new monsters in like locations that you didn't have access to beforehand. Like there's like Green Nagakuga, or there's Regius there, and a couple of other monsters that you really want to farm out. And the thing about high-rank dens and their like difference between their low rank counterparts is that you get monsters with way better genes. There's a higher chance of you getting like monsters with XL genes on them, which are like the highest tier of like rarity of genes on them, and they are ones that like massively or greatly or substantially increase the amount of like damage that your monster is doing. So not only are you going to want to get one of them, you're going to want to get multiple of them so that you can boost up your monsters, because that's the real endgame grind, right? Taking your team, making sure that they have the best possible genes on them by splicing in them and stacking those skills on top of them as well. I don't think that was in Stories 1, right? You couldn't stack skills on Stories 1?
You couldn't use the duplicate system, no. I believe as well you couldn't slot the genes in any slot. It had to be like in the same slot to the same slot, which so those changes are really cool. And the dupe system, the dupe system is really nice because it actually does make those moves a lot stronger. It's not just a small increase. At least that's what I've been noticing. It is a noticeable difference when you get those like 2 dupes on it for the 2+ stars. Just to jump back to what you were saying though, because Alex, you like briefly mentioned they drop parts for like high rank gear, but high rank gear is like an entirely new grind as well once you hit endgame. I don't know if you might not have got this far, but the high rank weapons, and I believe the armor as well, they upgrade to level 5. So previously I think it was level 2 in the story.
Level 3.
Well, now you need to go to level 5, and you need a lot of parts to get there, and it does substantially increase the stats of those like armors and weapons. So that's
Which is really cool.
That's one thing, right? It's like, okay, well now I need to farm new, stronger gear. Also, I am now at over 150 hours. My character is level 65 and still leveling up. Where is the cap? Is it 99? Because I think it's 99. Hundreds of K of XP to level up at this point.
Yeah, I think it's 99. I think that's... So you're going to be playing for a while.
We need to find that XP grind, guys. If you guys find a post-game XP grind, ping me a message ASAP. Like that's the one.
Speaking of XP, like obviously this doesn't answer your question about the XP grind, but for anyone that's playing, so this is a fantastic thing about the endgame as well. Obviously you want to build new teams, and we've mentioned in previous videos before about ways to farm XP relatively fast, completing quests quickly, doing like side quests, using the expedition, and that does level things up pretty fast as you're playing throughout the game. But once you get to endgame, you're like, I found a new monster, and suddenly your team's like level 40, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna take forever. No. Put that monster in your team, go into a high rank hunt, and I kid you not, yesterday I took Ivory Leggy Arekkz. He went 0 to 35 in one quest. Boom. It's like, okay. I mean, I guess you're not playing around. So catching monsters up is very, very quick, which is really nice because obviously as you do get to endgame, you are going to be pursuing some monsters you wouldn't have had access to earlier in the game. So because that's one thing that used to, like, I know we've often made the kind of Pokemon comparison, like Paradox, I know you're like massive on Pokemon as well, but like that's one thing that always used to like annoy me towards the end of Pokemon. Like I would find something that I would really like, but again, it goes back to like me not normally being a turn-based person. I hate having to grind up something from level 1 to be like, come on, man. So like literally, thank you, Story 2.
Share.
Yeah, I'm just so happy that I can literally just throw it at my team, boom, done. So that is cool.
That is a very nice thing. There are actually ways to optimize it further than that as well, to make it quicker. But so we talked about gear, we talked about dens, and we briefly talked about Elder's Lair, right? Now,
yeah. When
you guys are playing through and you get to Elder's Lair, you're going to be like, oh, it's new endgame activity, there's like challenges to do, I've got to break monster parts, there's surprises along the way as you get higher. Well, let me tell you something, guys, okay? When you finish every floor on the Elder's Lair, it's not over. Right.
There's another one.
Special Elder's Lair.
DJ
guys.
Khaled.
One more thing.
You think that you've just gone through all the trials and tribulations to get there, and then it's like, oh, but there's a special version that's even harder. Let's do it again. And the monsters in that one are incredibly tough and strong. Like the basic monsters, they hit super hard, and they have like boss level HP on every single like monster fight. It's pretty insane. So even at 150 hours, even having focused on the Elder's Lair, and then there's another Elder's Lair that has like, I'm guessing different rewards as you go through, and they're all like high rank and stuff, so you get all the drops and things. So that was a pretty cool surprise. But shall we talk?
Well, before you do that,
before we move on from there, actually, Paradise made the other Elder's Lair sound better than it actually is. Guys, while it is good, and I'm excited that there is like more endgame, it is Control-C, Control-V. You are literally doing the same thing again, but like a harder mode.
But
so
longer and harder.
Come on. So the monsters aren't different in any way. It's just the same thing over again. It isn't like some crazy new section of like monsters that you're going to be able to get or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to give some quick context. So I know we sort of briefly spoke about the Elder's Lair, but just to kind of give people context to like what it is. You go into this area once you've completed the story, and you have like a floor. So I'm on floor 1, right? And then you have some objectives you have to complete. So floor 1 is pretty simple. It's just like go and kill these 6 monsters. They're all located around the map, so you wander around. Whilst you're wandering around, you'll see other monsters. Again, they'll all be high rank monsters, so you can farm them while you're there. You can, retreat, go into den, things like that. But you basically have objectives per floor. So the very first floor is pretty simple. Just kill those monsters. Once you've done that, you then go to the next floor, and those objectives will change. So it's cool, but although it's called like Elder's Lair, it's like not actually, if I describe it, you think, oh, that's like a tower, right? But like in actual fact, you've got sort of different biomes and things. So it's quite cool in that respect. But that's how it works.
It is split up by like floors though, and there are elders in it. So it should be called the Elder's Lair.
Yeah. This is where you'll be finding some of the stuff you don't see early game, right? Like obviously, as you play throughout the game, you see a good chunk of monsters, but you don't see all of them, right? So this is where you're going to go to be getting some of those like deviants and some of the the other stuff, right?
Yeah, and it's got some really weird challenges. So it's like one floor is literally, you can only, it's basically only your hunter's damage that can do damage, and you have to defeat the thing in a certain amount of turns, and you have to do it with a certain weapon. So you're kind of like, how do I do this? Like, yeah.
By the way, that floor in the special Elder's Lair is an actual nightmare, and I hate it. You have like 5 turns to kill a monster with a bajillion HP, and your monster does no damages. It's actually insane.
What? Do I? So yeah, again, for context for anyone watching, like I haven't got to that part of it yet. I'm early endgame. These guys are later endgame. Can I just like never do that? Like I don't have to do that, right?
You have to do that if you want to get through the Elder's Lair. And there's reasons that you want to get through the Elder's Lair as well, because some of the monsters only appear in like the Elder's Lair and stuff like that. So there are things and reasons to complete the Elder's Lair. As a whole, so yeah, guys,
that would be an interesting.
The final thing in the Elder's Lair is a spice, and it kind of alludes to things that are coming as well. So you're going to really want to do it as well, so that you can flex that you've got some of the stuff from.
It's hard to not say what it is, but we don't want to ruin it for you guys.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to talk about what I consider to be the real endgame, okay? Which is
the gene
surprisingly, well, that is a part of it, but I actually would say that it's a combination of co-op and bottle caps. Okay, so in the first game, and let me know if I'm wrong about this in the comments. I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and I didn't fully get to full endgame in the first stories, right? But people were saying that bottle caps in the first game were like a finite resource, and to get all of the bottle cap stuff, you had to basically do all of the evidence to completion to like just about tick everything off the list and unlock everything that you can get with them. Well, in Stories 2, bottle caps are kind of like they're not finite anymore. There are ways that you can constantly get them, whether it be in chests in high rank dens, whether it be from finishing PvP matches, whether it be from doing co-op and getting bottle caps as a reward from that, as well as various subquests in the game. So you can get more and more bottle caps by doing different activities. And if you actually look at the bottle cap vendor, and I'm not sure if this is unlocked until you finish the story, because I didn't notice this until somewhat recently, so I think it might have been unlocked like after you get to high rank, basically. There's a new tab at the bottle cap vendor that actually sells an infinite supply of items. So previously you can buy it and it takes it off the list, it's limited to 1, but there's actually another tab of infinite supply of nutrients, of stimulants, but also of the expedition tickets that you need for co-op. And it looks to be the only way to get the SR tickets, unless you're like looting them within co-op chests, which is fairly rare from our experience. So it looks like the most reliable way to get them is by buying them with bottle caps. Yeah. And the SR co-op tickets basically allow you to go on a very hard co-op mission. You can do this solo as well. I see a lot of people saying, I don't want to play co-op with anyone. Well, you get an AI companion if you just launch it solo, so don't worry about that. But in those missions, not only do you get chests with more bottle caps and nutrients and stuff like that, you also get up to 3 eggs to take with you, like along the way to the boss. And those 3 eggs in the SR tickets are really good. They're almost always rainbow. They always have XL stuff on, or at least almost always from our experience. So it's a really good way to farm eggs. But the boss monster of the SR tickets is where it's at. You're talking Elder Dragons, you're talking Deviants. This is where you capture them. This is how you get them on your team. You get parts when you destroy them, you get the egg afterwards, and then you get the bonus like rewards and the eggs along the way as well. So I feel like the endgame cycle is farming bottle caps, buying the highest rarity tickets, going into co-op, grabbing those deviants, those elder dragons to duplicate the genes, to get eggs along the way and stuff like that. Would you agree with that? 2.6, because we've done it a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the most consistent way to get the best monsters in the game. And even if you don't want to have the best monsters in terms of just like having them on your team, you're going to probably want some of their genes as well. Like for instance, like Velkhana has some really nice abilities and genes on her for like ice attack, and comes like you're going to want her abilities anyway, right? Velkhana's a she, right? Or is it he?
I think it's a she.
I think so, yeah.
I think so. Well, another parallel example is Kirin.
Yeah.
He has really good lightning attacks. Like, you know, if you're out there using Zinogres, Thunderlord Zinogres, or Astalos or something like that, these are all monsters that have already been revealed anyway. Kirin has moves that you will want depending on which electric or thunder type monster you're using, right? So if you don't even want them on your team, you're going to want them for their moves, for their genes. They also often have like really good XL things on them as well. That's what I've been noticing. So it's worthwhile in every way for the eggs along the way, the egg at the end, the parts of that Elder Dragon or Deviant to make armor and weapons, which you're going to need a lot of to upgrade, as well as getting the bottle cap rewards that will feed back into it and buying another ticket again.
Yeah. And plus, you just want to take these monsters into PvP if they're like juiced up anyway. So me and Paradise have been playing a lot against each other and using like elders and using a load of different like monsters and stuff like that. And we found out there's particular skills. And as you're building your team, you're going to find out there's different ones that work for you and different builds that you need for different situations. So you might even want multiple of the same monster. So you're definitely going to see yourself like in these co-op missions, farming a lot and needing a lot of tickets. So stack your bottle caps for your SR tickets, and you're just going to jump in there and make sure that you are farming out these monsters as much as possible. And I think that's where Arekkz basically is now, right? You're going to be building your team, and you need like the best possible genes. Have you selected which ones you're actually going to go for?
I think I've got like I've kind of got half my team. I definitely know I want to get Ivory. I've got Ivory Laggy I'm working on. I really want to like power up a Emerald Kongolala for sure. Just because I've always liked Kongolala and like Emerald guy. I'm waiting for Glavenus. I haven't had a chance to. I fought him, but I haven't had a chance to find him in an actual den yet, so I haven't got him just yet. And then my other 3 slots, I'm still playing around with ideas at the moment. There's some deviants I wanna pursue. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think one of the interesting things as well. I think it's quite cool to look at it from an endgame point of view. There's 2 ways to approach it, because I think some people don't like they want to do stuff endgame, but they might not want to be like you and Paradise scale like ultra min-maxing your monsters like to the nth degree. And I think it's important just to kind of touch on as well. While that is going to be, if I were to go up against 2-6 or Paradise and I haven't got that min-max thing, I am going to feel it. But at least when you go into things like PvP, you can do balanced matches. So they're, if they've got the moves, it's still going to make a big difference. But I would say, depending on how you kind of like play these kind of games, I think even if you're not necessarily someone that's like a super grindy player, there's definitely still a lot of fun to be had at endgame, because, from my point of view, someone that doesn't normally like invest too much time into turn-based games, especially like for me, if I do play a turn-based game, I kind of get to the end and I'm normally like, all right, I'm good. Like, I never did Pokemon endgame because it's just never really appealed to me. But I will say in Monster Hunter Stories, I think I just like the way they've approached it, because breathing life back into all the areas in the world suddenly kind of gives you so much more stuff to do, and the ease of, at least at the base level, kind of boosting things back up and getting things to a good level, I think is really nice. So I think it's definitely, I feel like they've struck a good balance here between like accessible but also just giving you just stupid stuff to grind if you want.
Yeah, totally. I want to also say that even though you fight like high rank monsters after you finish the story, your existing monsters in your party, you can like take them along with you. You don't have to recapture monsters.
No.
Obviously, the high rank monsters will have the XL genes, which you're going to want to like transfer onto your favorite monster, right? But if you've been playing through the whole story with Nagakuga and it's your favorite one, you can still keep using him into endgame and just put the XL genes onto him. So that is a really nice touch, because for me, there were certain monsters that I picked up along the way that I didn't want to lose, like my Zinogre, right? And I don't have to lose him. I can just juice him up with the XL powerful stuff from the other high ranks. But to recap really quick, so you've got like co-op, which has expeditions with like Deviants Elders. It also has slay missions and trial missions, which are like their entirely own thing, and you unlock more of those as you go through. You've got PvP, which is going to be just a constant thing if you're interested in it, because you're always going to want to improve for PvP. You've got like extra different kinds of dens to look out for, like the high rank dens. Then you've got the Elders Lair, the special Elders Lair. You've got leveling up your high rank gear to level 5. That's already a lot, but you also have subquests to do. Like, there are more subquests when you finish the game, and they aren't just go and kill this monster and get a herb, right? It's like specific quests that you will be going out and you will be finding specific monsters, and it will unlock things for you, which is really cool. I didn't expect that to be a thing either.
Yeah, my experience just with like the endgame is it's been overwhelming. It's kind of what you want from an endgame. You just feel like you're just saturated in content. I know it might be you just going here and like fighting a monster in the same combat system and whatever, so it could be deemed as repetitive, but that's what endgame is. It's what we signed up for when we said that we're going to grind out games, right? But in terms of like what to do, like I haven't finished the special Elders layer now, and I've been like playing. I haven't finished off like farming for my like team, and I'm still thinking about that. And there's so many different options. Even if I do finish my team, I'm like, actually this monster would be pretty cool to kind of spec out. Like I haven't even started specking out my Nerg yet. I'm getting clomped by Paradise with his one, and I'm just like, I know this guy looks sick, but the undertaking it would be to get like one up to that level of like where he is just like a lot of time, and I just would rather invest it into some of my other monsters and try something else out. But I like that there is this loop, which I wasn't necessarily expecting in a game like this. I'm guessing Stories 1 people knew this and what to expect, but yeah, it's amazing that we have all of this, especially coming off of like some other games that didn't necessarily have all that much endgame. This one's got a load of it because of the structure that it is, and that it's just like throwing content at us. I'm always thinking, oh, this monster, I haven't even got a Silver Wind Nagakugi yet, and I really want that on my team. I know Paradise got one, luckily, the other day. I just got 3 duplicates of like Velkhana, while Paradise got that. So it's all up to like RNG and luck and how much you can like really farm it out as well.
Yeah.
Also, one point I just wanted to say out. It was... I can... Paradise can contest to this as well. It's like, I wish Capcom didn't do... Sorry. Apologize. I wish Capcom didn't do the endgame stream, because for us, the first time going through the game, it was an amazing experience to, like, experience that without knowing what it is. We try to avoid spoilers on the channel. If we unfortunately spoil something for you, sorry about that, but we try to avoid it so that you guys can experience stuff for the first time. But I feel like the more things go on with like Monster Hunter, Capcom is revealing a lot of their games. I think it happened with World, I think it happened with Rise, and it feels it takes out some of the magic, and I feel like it pushes also content creators to be like, oh, we can show that stuff because Capcom showed it as well. But if they didn't show it, then there'll be a lot less of it, and people will be experiencing that stuff anyway, because there is a bunch of really cool things that you experience for the first time in this game, like the end game and like the special Elders layer that people probably wouldn't have even known about, and all that cool stuff.
That's actually a very important thing to touch on as well, like you were sort of saying, in the way that just to kind of give people context, sort of a behind the curtain kind of thing. That's what we always use as creators as like a barometer for what is it safe to show. We go based on what Capcom have shown. So it's like, oh, if Capcom have revealed Arekkz, or like just before, like the week before launch, they're like, oh, we dropped like Nogigante's kinship skill against Ivory Arekkz. Like if Capcom have shown it, we always deem that as like, here's the things that we will show in our content. Like, so Capcom will never show the final boss, so obviously we'll keep that hidden. That's all from what we do. So to 2six's point, you know, when Capcom suddenly, like, I remember back in the days in like, you know, I'm gonna sound like archaic now, but you know, back in the days when like Pokemon games used to come out, I could probably count on like one hand how many Pokemon that I knew were in the game, and then everything was a surprise. And then like now, new Pokemon games come out and they're just like, here's almost all of the Pokemon. I'm like, well, you know, I've planned my team before the game's even out. And as you said, the same thing happened in World and Rise. You know, we saw most of the monsters, most of the armor sets. In fact, that was one of the shames about Rise. It was like, I think I'd seen every armor set bar the final boss, and I was like, huh. So yeah, it's definitely one of those kind of things. I mean, obviously, you know, you don't have to watch that, but that's just context-wise what we use as our sort of like measuring tape for like, if Capcom's shown it, we'll show it.
Yeah, like if it's been officially revealed and put out there to like, you know, already thousands plus people, I think that is fair. But I think one part of me beforehand was like, okay, I like to know all the content that's in the game, but having played like Stories early before they officially announced all that stuff, the same as 2.6, there was something so cool and so special about reaching that endgame point and being like, oh my gosh, this monster is in the game and I didn't know it, like the deviants or the particular, like which Elder Dragons exactly were in the game. And that was like a really cool thing to have that mystery and to sort of just discover it. So I think that experience has made me think that yes, 2.6 is right. I think people would have enjoyed the game more if they didn't actually reveal those things. And then I guess there would always be like one content creator or another that would probably just show it like on launch day anyway. But it was a special thing to just like not to go in blind, you know. And I think that going forwards, I would hope that maybe that they would consider that, because I think it did improve the experience, like playing through.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there you have it. That's a quick little rundown on like what you can expect. Again, there's lots of still things to show. In fact, most of the gameplay that I would have used in this discussion is actually going to be from like very, very early endgame. So a lot of the stuff that even 2.6 and Paradise were talking about, you'll still have to actually see for yourself. But yeah, that's if you guys are wondering what there is to do towards endgame, then hopefully that's given you some context. 2.6, do you have a question for the day, for the people?
The question of the day is, can you guys guess what the boss monsters are in the Elder Lair?
We shall see.
There's
also,
two!
And also let us know what's going to be in your team. But otherwise, yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out the videos recently. Again, don't forget to check out 2.6.9 and Paradise Central's channels as well. What are you guys working on over today and this weekend? What videos are you guys dropping?
I've got a video going out that shows you how to get Nerg, and I've got a video going out just telling people how to farm and how to get 10 rainbow eggs in 5 minutes basically. So head over to my channel if you want to know how to farm those rainbows quite quickly and get some of the best monsters in the game.
And if you guys are playing through and you're finding the royal monsters like Arekkz or later on Zinogre, I've already got guides telling you exactly the best ways to fight them, like what their patterns are, what their special retreat bonuses is and stuff like that. And also today, I already went out and farmed a ton of rainbow eggs, and I'm opening them up in a video to sort of see what we get, what
the
genes we get,
Paradise Special
like
with the opening. You're gonna treat
the egg
head over
opening.
Talismans to openings. Well, there you have
What type of eggs do you have in there? I'm interested in that. What type of eggs?
I went to all the different regions of the map and basically took 2 eggs from each region, so it is a wide array of eggs from different places. And they're all shiny eggs. There's no elders.
I want to see.
There's
an
a way that you
video.
get them.
I want to see an all elder video one day. Come on, make it happen.
But he's gone to all the lands, so he's got quite an exotic selection.
Oh
yeah.
no! Get out of here!
Hey, and on that bombshell, guys, we're gonna wrap up the video. Thank you for watching. Keep it locked for plenty more Monster Story stuff, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye bye.
If you want to catch more from us at Arekkz Gaming, don't forget you can catch the guys 2.6.9 and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch weekdays, playing a variety of games. If you guys want to jump in, tune in, watch, and even join in, then make sure you check them out. The links to those are in the description box down below. And of course, you can join the Discord to get involved in all of the discussions.